Testing, testing. Good morning. My name is Tim Hunter. I'm one of the members of our Board of Trustees. My pronouns are he, him. There's a lot going on here at UUCA, and there are many places to find out information. A few of those are the order of service, weekly announcements, newsletter, Instagram, Facebook. If you're new, you may also fill out a blue and return a blue card in the seat pocket near to be added to our email list and to Realm, an online extension of our church community. Here are some specific things that are coming up in the next week. October 19th, after service till 12:30 p.m. Picture Day. Is that today? Is it the 19th? Oh, today is Picture Day. I didn't come dressed for Picture Day. I guess I have to make it work. Huh? It may have to be. So stop by for a quick photo so we can put every face and every name on Realm. So these are individual pictures so that you can join our Realm and people can see your beautiful smiling faces. October 25th is our UUCA annual service auction, chili cook-off, and jazz gala featuring saxophone great Tim Sanders, not me. October 26th from 5 to 8 p.m., Films with Fern. This month we'll be watching and making the meaning of the 1976 horror film, Carrie. How many of you remember when that came out? Who went to the theaters to watch Carrie when it came out? Oh, yes, scary, scary times. It's a little bit before my time, but it is a classic. November 15th is our fall campus cleanup day. And Thursday, October 23rd, the Romeos will be meeting at, where, Jerry? Olivianos. So see Jerry Goldman for information. They'll be meeting at 11:45 p.m. I might try to actually come and join you guys for that, if you don't mind, if I can get the day off to talk to you guys. You can check out the rest of the announcements in the places that I mentioned before, and I'd like to welcome Brandy up to make some announcements about our church auction.
Wow, I've never been up here before. It's a little intimidating. Yeah, about the auction, just wanted to let y'all know, you need to get online on Realm. You can register, buy your tickets, buy your raffle tickets. You get 6 for $5. We've got some great raffle baskets. They're being made. Tim will be here. Tim Sanders, our jazz guy, is gonna be playing in here. We're gonna have little tables set up in here. You can eat your chili, listen to the music. We've got a cakewalk going on down in the kids' hall. Miss D is gonna be doing that. We have a wine pull. You can bring a bottle of wine, donate it, pull a cork, get a bottle. Let's see. I think that's about it. We do want you guys to all come, have a good time. It's gonna be a fun family event. It's from 4 to 7 next Saturday. If you have any questions, tag one of your stewardship people and we can answer whatever you have. I think that's it. Yes. No, it's for everybody. And it's not just cake, it's all kinds of desserts. You may get one piece of cake, you may get a whole cake. So yeah, that'll be fun, and Dee's handling all that down there. So do it, you gotta do it. Thanks, y'all.
Does anyone else have any other announcements they'd like to add? No? Thank you very much. Services will begin shortly.
Good morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Augusta. You come here every Sunday to create a beloved community, to work together with compassion, with reason, and with respect, empowering us to promote a just society. My name is Chris Maurer, and I answer to she, her pronouns. And today I'm co-creating this service with Natalia Bowdoin and Joe Patchen and our choir and our tech deck. And all of you are here to work with us and worship with us. We're all here to shape this moment together, and we're glad that you're all here with us. In honor of this sacred moment, we ask that you please take a moment to put your devices on worship mode. If you're here as a first-time visitor today, we encourage you to stop by the greeters table and meet with Fern. She's our membership coordinator, and she'd love to chat with you and find out more about your interests. There's a blue card in the seat in front of you. If you fill that out, that would help with that conversation. And you're also more than welcome to join us for coffee and snacks after worship in the common room. Existing community members will know newcomers by their green or red name tags. Red is for somebody who wants to meet people slowly, and green is for people that are anxious to meet people and get to know people. And for those on Zoom, please consider staying online after the service to chat with each other. So whether you're here in person or joining us, we welcome and celebrate all of who you are.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Natalia, she, her, and our chalice lighting today comes from the Reverend Scott Taylor. Come into this circle of compassion and care. Bring your worry and wounds, your longings and hopes. With word and song, we rekindle the connection that mends what's been torn. With stillness and the space to pause, we restore our strength for the work that must be done, the work of love, the work of peace, the work of repair, the work of remembering we are not alone. Let us begin.
Would you rise in body and spirit for our opening hymn, 1002, Comfort Me.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. My name is Margaret Tuck. I'm a member of the pastoral care team, and this is a traditional time in our service where you are invited to come and share joys or sorrows here. If you would start moving up, that would be fine. If you feel a need, we have an email address, pastoralcare@uuaugusta.org. And we have green cards that are in the back seat pockets. There's not many of them, but they are there. And you could fill out one and put it in a box that's on the desk out front, and someone will pick that up. And then, of course, you can talk to a member of the team anytime. I'm going to drop the last stone for those unspoken joys and sorrows that we have.
Now is the time in our service when we center ourselves with meditation and words into our time together. Before I start our meditation, I would ask that hopefully you've received a little piece of paper and a pencil. And if you didn't, maybe can I see how many people didn't receive one? Okay. If you don't have one, it's fine to just contemplate this. But if you could think for a moment and think back at a time or a space where you felt completely rested and restored and rejuvenated. Think about when or where that was. If you have more than one, excellent. If you just have one memory, just jot that down. And these will not be turned in. You keep these. Okay, we'll return to that later during my talk. Now I'm going to lead you through what's called a metta meditation. I'm not talking about the internet giants. Metta spelled with 2 T's, and it's a Pali word. Pali is the language the first Buddhist scriptures were written in. And metta means, in Pali, loving kindness. So you may be familiar with this type of meditation. But before we begin, just try to get comfortable in your seat. Maybe put your feet on the floor. Just feel your body in your seat and take a look around you and know that you are safe in this building, in this room, and among us. And if you feel comfortable, go ahead and close your eyes. If you're not comfortable closing your eyes, just try to loosen your gaze and kind of make your gaze a little fuzzy. So I'm going to lead you through some processes with different people and different groups of people. And you're going to imagine offering them thoughts and hopes. And I'm going to offer some phrases that you might use as you greet them. If you need to change the words and use your own words that are in the same spirit, feel free to do that. But first, visualize looking at yourself, seeing yourself in front of you, and offer yourself these words. May I be safe. May I be well. May I be calm and at ease. May I transform suffering into wholeness. May I be safe. May I be well. May I be calm and at ease. May I transform suffering into wholeness. Just sit for a moment with that. And next, bring to mind someone that you love very much, that you care for deeply. It may be someone who is still with us. It may be someone who has passed. It may be a pet, a beloved pet. But imagine them in front of you and offering them these phrases. May you be safe. May you be well. May you be calm and at ease. May you transform suffering into wholeness. May you be safe. May you be well. May you be calm and at ease. May you transform suffering into wholeness. Next, I'm asking you to visualize someone who you feel neutral towards. It may be someone you passed on the street this week or in the grocery store, but you didn't have a reaction to them in a positive or negative way, just a neutral way. But try to remember what they look like. Try to bring to mind what they might have been wearing or what their hair looked like, and offer them these words. May you be safe. May you be well. May you be calm and at ease. May you transform suffering into wholeness. May you be safe. May you be well. May you be calm and at ease. May you transform suffering into wholeness. And next, bring to mind somebody that you are struggling with right now. And I would say, don't go for the top person you're struggling with, maybe someone closer to home, maybe someone you love very much, but you're having a conflict with them. Or sometimes the person we're struggling with the most is ourselves. So you can offer these again to yourself if that is the person that you are struggling with the most. Try to visualize them in front of you and offer them these words. May you be safe. May you be well. May you be calm and at ease. May you transform suffering into wholeness. May you be safe. May you be well. May you be calm and at ease. May you transform suffering into wholeness. And sit for a moment with that. Now imagine sending those thoughts and hopes out to all beings everywhere around the world, in our building, our city, our state, our country, and across the oceans. May we be safe. May we be well. May we be calm and at ease. May we transform suffering into wholeness. May we be safe. May we be well. May we be calm and at ease. May we transform suffering into wholeness. Thank you.
I was at the march yesterday, and it was amazing how many people that I ran into that were looking for a place where they could get some reprieve and meet people of like minds and who could work together with them. And I come to this church, and this church offers us a reprieve, a rest, even if it's just for a short, brief period of time. We share, we care, and in order to keep our mission afloat and this church afloat, we need your help. We need to keep the funds coming in so that we can keep our doors open, so we can tell these people that there is a place for them where they are accepted no matter who they are or what their beliefs are or where they're coming from. So I ask you now, please, to give as you are willing and able, And we accept checks, and there'll be a message on here of how you can give electronically, and also, of course, cash. Will the ushers please come forward?
Hello again. I'm very thankful for Reverend Nick for inviting me to give a talk today and giving me license to talk about anything that I wanted within the general framework of compassion. So I agreed to do it months ago, and I went through a lot of different iterations of this, but I want to talk today about developing a theology of rest and retreat and what that might look like. But first, I want to return to what you wrote down. And I want to take a couple minutes for you to reflect. So I'm asking you now to reflect on the time or the place that you wrote down as being rejuvenating. What were the qualities of that place that made it such a restorative place for you? For example, it might be that you were in nature, or that you were in solitude and you needed solitude at that time. Or it might have been the people that you were with, or the friendships you were experiencing, or just that you had lots of free time and no obligations. But just think for a moment about what were the qualities of that time that were so restorative, and jot down just a word or two. And next, what I want you to think about is, what is your most significant obstacle right now to having that kind of rest and restoration and rejuvenation as part of your daily or weekly experience? What is keeping you from that at this time right now? Thank you for reflecting on that with me. As some of you know, I recently finished seminary at Earlham School of Religion, which is a Quaker seminary in Indiana. And it took me 9 years, and it was a lot of credit hours, 74 credit hours. And during that time, I lost my mother to untreated lung cancer, which was her choice. I went through cancer treatment myself, and I had a relationship end and another one begin. So there were many significant changes in my life during that time. And in my final class last spring at Earlham, we took a class called Comprehensive Seminar, where we were supposed to bring together all the things we had read and talked about and contemplated during our 74 credit hours in seminary. And the professors started out by giving us a question that they wanted us each to look at through 8 different lenses over the course of several weeks. The question that they gave us was, what is the church and what is its mission for our time? And the lenses that they wanted us to look at it through and write about each week were a personal lens, what that means to me, what does the church mean to me, a biblical lens, or they broadened it out to scriptural because myself and others in the class come from other traditions besides Christianity, Buddhism in my case, and UUism. Then they also wanted us to look at it through a historical lens, a theological lens, a denominational lens, and a diversity, equity, and inclusion lens, and an ethical lens. And then finally, what is that question in relation to your own ministry interests and challenges? So you can imagine it was a pretty tough question to consider through all those lenses. And by the time we finished those 8 perspectives, everyone in the class was pretty frustrated with the question and really honestly tired of that question. And we suggested to the professors that they choose a different question next time when they teach the class, and they actually agreed with us. But then during the next half of the course, they gave us the wonderful opportunity to pose our own question, to determine and discern what was the question we needed most to ask ourselves right now in conclusion to our education, our seminary education, and then again to look at it through those 8 lenses. So there were some fascinating questions among my classmates. One friend of mine asked, how can we hold both hope and lament during such challenging times as we're in now? Another friend asked about the ethics of artificial intelligence as chaplains, which was something I hadn't considered and is actually happening now. Another person asked, how do we truly create a trauma-informed church? So there were many fascinating and complicated questions that I learned a lot from as my peers went through questioning those through those 8 different lenses. But my question was, how do we balance between self-care and social action, between solitude and engagement, between contemplation and activity, particularly during times of great urgency and need, like we're experiencing right now? I had thought of a lot of other questions, but this one really came to a head for me because in a sense, it made a full circle from the start of my seminary to my finish. A couple of weeks before we had to turn in our question, my whole family came down with the flu, and it really took us out. It was a bad flu last year, and it took us out for over a week, and it felt very similar to our COVID experiences. And I remembered that sense of forced withdrawal from the world that had marked my start of seminary. Because when I started seminary, I only got a semester in when my mother died, as I mentioned, of lung cancer, and then I was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer. So one experience was a long time coming, and the other was a complete and unexpected shock to me, but both were very challenging. So I had to take a year out, and that was extremely informative to me as I came to terms with rest and restoration, and it planted the seeds for what I'm trying to work on today. So I stopped seminary for a year. I cut back extensively on work, although I kept working through chemo, but I reduced my duties with the help of my coworkers. Many weeks I just had to be at home. I had to let everything go, everything outside of the very minimal things that I needed to do for my treatment to survive and get through the day. And so I went through this in the winter of 2016 and the spring of 2017. And you may remember what was happening in the fall of 2016 and the beginning of 2017, very much like what we are going through now. But I just had to focus on myself and take care. So this flu that we caught last spring, right before spring break, really brought that question back to me. How do we bring balance to this? How do we find rest and retreat and take care of ourselves when such significant and extended action is needed right now? And there are so many urgent things in the world that need our attention. So I looked at that question through these different perspectives. The lenses that were most interesting to me were the historical and the theological and the scriptural and the ethical and the diversity lens, which is almost all of the lenses. But it was very powerful and informative for me to consider that the significant figures of our major world traditions, Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad, Moses, even Abraham, found retreat from the normal activity of life very vital to leading the kind of social change and great movements of people and ideas that these religions birthed and that we are a continuation of today. I found inspiration at looking historically at people like Henry David Thoreau and Rosa Parks and the role of retreat and rest and as resistance and a way of bringing about social change and ultimately igniting significant movements and inspiring true action that changed things. And reading modern day interpretations of that found in the work of Tricia Hershey, who some of you may know, who writes extensively about rest as resistance, and Emily M. Towns, who brings a unique womanist perspective to the balance between self-care. And she really points out that both rest and social engagement are revolutionary and political, and that both rest and engagement are activities of social action. Some of you may have written, and we heard today during Joys and Sorrows, that for some of us, the rejuvenation that we experience is experienced most when we are engaged in social action. So I wanted you all to think about, what is it that restores you? What gives you the sense of rest and restoration? And what has been the force of that change in your life? For me, there have been 3 times that stand out very clearly. One was as a college student working at the UU Mountain Retreat Center in North Carolina, the retreat center where many of our UU kids are going to be going this fall, and where some of us lived and worked for years. So working there as a camp counselor was deeply restorative to me and healing. The community, the nature, the intentionality of being together in a supportive way was very powerful. And I'll never forget one distinct moment standing on the rock that overlooks the valley. I was standing there and this hawk came out and just soared in the air. And I was watching the hawk and I felt so connected to this hawk that it was as if I was actually seeing the valley through the hawk's eyes below me. This is quite a moving experience. So that sense of interconnection or alignment with other elements of our world was so strong to me there. And that's sort of a snapshot of how I felt at the mountain during that summer. The other place and time I felt that true restoration and rejuvenation was in a retreat at Magnolia Grove Monastery in northern Mississippi, which is a monastery in the tradition of Thich Nhat Hanh, who you may know as the Vietnamese monk who was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize by MLK Jr. in 1967. And he was a good friend of MLK as well. So I went to northern Mississippi for a week-long retreat, and there was no cell phone access. I had to completely disengage from the outside world and from my family. And it was an incredible retreat with people from all over the country and some from all over the world. A lot of time spent in silence, but also a lot of time spent in community and sharing deeply about what challenges we were going through. And it was all set in the beautiful natural setting of northern Mississippi, which I actually hadn't known was a beautiful place. So that was a nice surprise. But finally, my third experience of restoration was during my cancer treatment. And I've spoken about this a little bit before at the church, and I know that my cancer experience was not maybe a typical experience, and that not everyone has this by any means. But for me, because I had to back away so completely from all the activities I was doing, and I was engaged in a ton of volunteer activity, human rights activism, doing too much at work, but because I had to just pull back and focus on myself and staying alive and doing what I needed and honoring my body and the connections that were going to help me survive, I came to feel like I was standing on top of a mountain and that I had been walking through a canopy of dense forest for years and that I was finally above it. I was above that thick canopy looking out over the trees and just able to get away from the busyness and all the noise of life. So at the end of chemo, while my body was completely wrecked, my spirit and my emotional sense felt restored, which I didn't expect. For several years now, I've been connected to a community of resettled refugees from the country that I used to live in Central Africa. In the last 2 years, I've been engaged with a broader community of resettled refugees in Clarkston, which is right outside of Atlanta, through an organization that helps support the resettled refugees in Clarkston. Clarkston is often called the Ellis Island of the South because the majority of inhabitants there are foreign-born, and it is a huge resettlement site for refugees who've experienced some of the worst trauma from wars and conflicts around the globe. Yet they're also some of the most amazing and resilient and inspiring people I've ever met. So the organization that I've been connected with helps support them through English classes and job training and helping start businesses, growing food in the community garden. They help with maternal health care, after-school programs, just a variety of different activities. But lately, over the last 2 years, the organization's conducted some processes that I've been able to be a part of, something called a photo voice experience, which some of you may have heard of. But photo voice, in short, it's a form of community action where prompts are given to the participants, a question is given to the participants, and then the participants use their cameras or their cell phones to answer those questions. And they bring back their photos and talk about it in the group and talk about why those photos answer these questions. And then eventually a public exhibit of these photos is created and posted with the narratives of why they took these pictures. And ideally, the hope is that this will influence public policymakers. They're invited to the exhibit and see these words and pictures. I kind of wish that our professors had asked us to do a photo voice with that question of what is the church? That would have been really interesting. But it's a way to engage community in issues that are affecting them and bringing up things that they may not think of just through a textual response, because images, visual images can be so evocative and bring other things forward. But one thing I've noticed over the last few sessions of these photo voices is that often in response to the question about the life and challenges and successes in the US that the resettled refugees have experienced, participants will also often take a photo on top of Stone Mountain, looking out over the land, or standing on the shore by a lake, or standing on the shore by the ocean. And pictures where you really get a sense of the land and the sky and the sun. And it's really struck me how these images really highlight that sense of rising above the noise and above the past pain and the past experiences to find something that restores them. There's a sense of being held and connected to the earth below us, but also being able to connect with the sky that is protecting us, that is always there, but that is untouchable or ineffable. And these two elements, that grounded sense of earth and that ineffable, transcendent, protective sky is what we have. So they recall to me my own experiences at the mountain and through chemo and rising above the canopy of the noise and the busyness to find true restoration to support us in the long haul, which is this work that we are doing. So I hope that we can see that this question about the balance between action and engagement and rest and retreat is a question that really centers around the holiness that is in both. It's not as dualistic a concept as I first thought when I initially posed the question. There is holiness in both rest and retreat, and action and contemplation, and we can manifest both in our lives and in a single day. The challenge is to look at that and to be able to accept that there is no right way to manifest this spirit of change and betterment for the world. Both of these are necessary for full flowering of the change we are working for. So I leave you with that idea, and I hope that this week, or I invite you this week, if you feel comfortable at some point, to share with someone close to you, a family member or friend, about the times you've felt most restored in your life and what is keeping you from that now. So thank you, and thank you for letting me be part of your journey and your community.
Would you rise in body and spirit for our closing hymn? 10:17, we are building a new way.
Our benediction comes from the Reverend Cameron Trimble. Spirit of breath, when the world numbs, soften us. Melt the armor we've built around our own tenderness. Guard us not with distance, but with discernment. Help us feel deeply without drowning. Let us carry pain without being consumed by it. Let us keep loving without illusion. May our hearts of flesh remain responsive, vulnerable, and true.